Hello, my crafty clan. It's a Saturday again, so that must mean it's time for another Eatsy News, the day where I round up what's been happening in the week on Eatsy. And I always think there's going to be nothing to talk about, and there's loads to talk about. Before I get started, I am going to cover the elephant in the room. I am momentarily accidentally blonde. Basically, this is an embarrassment. It takes me a couple of days to dye my hair. I'd just take my time and enjoy it. I absolutely forgot today was Saturday and I really wanted to get this video out. So we will just ignore this and look at this. First thing, people always ask. It's a funny thing. I was talking to Brian the other day, and we're talking about when I started on Etsy. When I think Etsy was barely a year old, and in the forums, people were asking, "Is it too late to start an Etsy shop?" And constantly, people are always asking, "Is it too late to start an Etsy shop?" And I thought, for funsies, if you don't know, on eRank you can go into top sellers and pick the dates, pick a year when the shop's open to see the top sellers for that year. So I thought, hey, we're just into 2024. Shall we see what the top seller that's just opened their shop is? And like my jaw was on the floor. This shop, PNG King Creations, is 4 days old with 341 sales. Now, I don't know if they have permission to sell the kinds of things they're selling, if it's trademark, IP, copyright, whatever else. I don't know their history, if they have, say they were the company that sells all the college football things. They have a huge following. I don't know, but in 4 days, this was when I got the screenshot a couple of days ago, yesterday. Can't remember. I think we know. I don't know what day of the week it is. But 341 sales in half a week. So is it too late to open an Etsy shop? It never is. Just a bit of fun there. Doesn't mean that that's the kind of results we can all expect. It definitely is not. They are superstars or illegal or superstars. I don't know anything about them. I'm just saying a lot of people that come in fast are not allowed to be doing what they are doing. Some people really are. So we'll keep an eye on this shop actually. Oh, yeah. There's been, I just want to cover this. I felt a bit ranty when I made this slide, but basically, I'm seeing a lot on forums everywhere. People are complaining that the people answering them are being snarky or mean, and we should all be lovely and gentle to each other. And you don't know the mental health of the person you're talking to. Now, that's all good advice on the internet. We don't have to be totally mean to people. But when people come on places and ask advice about things when their items are blatantly illegal, there's no nice, loving, supporting way to say you can't sell that isn't going to offend people. And unfortunately have other people going, that's not true, you totally can, it's fair use or something. It's like, no, look, just no. Because at the end of the day, without being mean, kind of being a bit mean, but I feel if somebody feels they don't have the mental health capacity to hear from other people that what they're selling is illegal and they shouldn't be selling it, they're really not going to be able to deal with the fact when Etsy comes and takes them to court, or when their Etsy shop, when Disney comes, takes them to court, or when their Etsy shop gets shut down or something. So I hopefully call me out if I'm really being mean and name calling individuals. I mean, I can say some people have called me out when I've said people are stupid. That is the great people. I'm not picking on any one person, and people are stupid. That's a hill I'll die on. But if I'm being mean to an individual or a bit harsh, like sometimes on the internet we can be more blunt than we need to be. But if someone is selling things that are illegal, we need to tell them. It's not even being mean. We've all made mistakes. I started out, one of my first sales in my Etsy shop was for an IP infringing thing that I didn't know because I'd been given bad advice and I thought you could sell that. I learnt, and I learnt from being told. I learned the hard way as well from it was Disney. But thankfully they just put a copyright strike on me. Just said, take that down. And Etsy said, take it down. And I said, oops. So yeah, when we're hand holding people, we've got to hand hold them a little bit less. If something is illegal or dodgy, or if they need more experience, like in legal matters, than we think they have, it's okay to mention it. And that is the same. I see a lot of people trying to sell things. The thing that shoots to mind here is, I think it's Chef P, the woman that does pink sauce. If you haven't heard about this thing, she basically was supposedly a personal chef for somebody, and she invented this pink sauce. It looks like Pepto-Bismol. She said it tastes great. I think it uses dragon fruit to colour the sauce. It kind of looks interesting, but she pushed for that, went viral on Instagram and started selling this pink sauce. And then there was lots and lots of problems. The labels on the pink sauce with the ingredients and, all that legal stuff, allergy stuff, the labels weren't right. They clearly were not right. And when people were getting stuff shipped to them when they'd bought it, some of it had gone off, it was leaking, the colours were all different. So people were genuinely worried. And she was even going on chat shows and she was getting kind of really angry, going, oh, you're just trying to hurt me. I'm a small business. I'm just, trying to make my way, whatever else. And hilariously, sadly, when someone asked her live on air, have you not got that checked out by the FDA? Have you not had that checked? And she's like, well, I don't need to. It's not drugs. The food and drug. The F is food. The F is food. That sounds like I'm swearing. The F is food. So yeah, if you're selling something like food, you've got to check the laws for what certification and things you need to have to sell the thing, how it's going to be shipped, and all things like that. So yeah, it is all of our responsibility to make sure that what we're selling, we can be selling. So that was my side rant. Oh, here's another one though. Etsy. Oof. Before Christmas, I talked about Talkshop. You might have noticed because he's getting a lot more attention than me anyway, so you're more likely to have seen his videos. But before Christmas, like right in the proper busy season, and he's a very busy shop, his shop was suspended. And they found out the reason. It was absolutely a stupid thing that he has multiple shops. Many of us do have had open shops, forgot about them and whatever. And this one had a £7 fee on it, $7 fee that he'd forgot was there. So without any warning, because the messages would be going to this long dead shop, Etsy just shut down his shop. So yeah, at the worst time of the year. So there was a whole hoo-ha. People rightly were shouting at Etsy. Everybody got up in arms, quite rightly, and he got his shop reinstated again. But just yesterday, his shop was suspended again. Now, I've listened to his video a couple of times. You'll see it there as Talkshop, top Etsy seller suspended again. And I don't think he doesn't seem to know why he was suspended, and I don't know him, and we can only go by what people are telling us. I know quite often in the forums and things when people say my shop has been suspended, it's because they've done something wrong. Now he's saying he hasn't, and I've got to take him at his word there. He's saying he doesn't know why, but there is a coincidence in him and some of his friends noticed that Etsy search wasn't working yesterday. I did get notifications that there was an incident on Etsy. I'm assuming it's the same kind of thing. So he's wondering if that coincidence is a real thing or not. No way of knowing, to be perfectly honest. But it's really sad, and yeah, especially there's a whole lot of talk because Etsy sacked a whole load of people, and I think they were going to be leaving by about the 7th of January, so they're all gone. So it is possible that Etsy's done a Twitter, got rid of some of the people that it needed to be looking after things properly, but I don't know, it's probably not. Like, was before this shutdown, was Etsy closing shops they shouldn't? Yes. Is there a problem with this? Yes, very much. It's good that someone with such a large voice, a large following, is being heard so that people can go to Etsy. But I do feel sad that thousands and thousands of smaller sellers are being shut down. And I know he needs this to make his living, but thousands and thousands of smaller sellers are possibly needing this to make their living, and they're not making tens of thousands a month. I I remember those days when every single sale, every single tiny sale mattered so, so much. So we don't want to dismiss the little guys as well. You know, there are little guys being shut down that are also relying on Etsy, and they might be relying on Etsy for the $2,000-3,000 a year they make. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you think of that. I'm in a ranty mood today, am I? Sorry about that. Um, Quick, there was an Etsy update for UK sellers. I mentioned this last week. HMRC is having to report information on UK-based sellers, including their yearly sales transactions. The thing here is saying digital platforms like Etsy must now report information and income for UK-based sellers who meet the requirements. We'll be required to file our first report in January 2025, and qualifying Etsy sellers will receive a copy of the information. So we don't need to, and it's saying there's no action required from you right now. They'll share more details when they become available. So basically, all that I can see is that's going to have to happen is potentially UK sellers on lower income are going to have to, on lower Etsy income, are going to have to fill in some tax details for Etsy to be able to forward it to HMRC. So basically, I would be registering with HMRC. If you're making more than £1,000 in 1 year, and that is before expenses. So if you have a shop that's barely making any profit, but you've made a few sales, you still might need to register with them. And Etsy has the correct advice there is, if you want to know anything about that, consult a tax professional or reach out to HMRC. The tax office in the UK has lots of webinars and advice and articles. They don't actually want to trip you up and have to chase you up for tax. They just want you to pay nice and easily. So there's that. And Etsy added some more details. Last week I missed this because I recorded my Saturday show a day early, but the email that Etsy sent out about third-party integrations, blocking them from using emails. So people, obviously there's been some questions, so Etsy got to answering some of the questions. So did the third-party applications who are losing access to the email address use them improperly? For privacy purposes, we only share information with third-party applications that's necessary for them to fulfill orders. If the third party doesn't need an email address, we'll no longer share that info with them. So that's interesting. That's hopefully saying that the shipping companies that need it will have access to that. Losing access to this information simply means the third party doesn't need it in order to complete the order and will otherwise continue to operate as normal with Etsy. We're making this change to better protect shoppers' privacy. So hopefully this means all the tools that have a proper need for the email addresses, they will still have them. The email included eRank saying eRank's losing the access. eRank hasn't got a proper need to have the emails of your customers, and they never took that data, so it's absolutely fine. And Etsy's not removing any third-party integrations. We're just limiting their access. So many of the tools didn't use the access. But here's the bit of advice that is really cool, and I think it was Debbie that shared me the last bit. I can't remember where I found this one myself. I do look in the forums myself. This change impacts the third-party integration I use for email marketing. How can I get buyers to opt in to receive my emails? This is important. Shoppers must choose to receive emails from you. In the email marketing business, this is called opting in. It means someone signs up for your newsletter either on your website, via social media, or by adding their name to a good old-fashioned paper list at a craft or trade show. If you have a website or blog, you can include a newsletter subscription link on your homepage with a widget. Post on social media to encourage your current fans to sign up for your newsletter with clear messaging about what they can receive from you. Remember not to add your customers' emails to your email or physical mailing list without their consent. This means you should never copy email addresses from your Etsy orders and add them to your email list. Not only is this against Etsy policies, it's also against an also maybe it could be against an applicable law. It is against many laws. You can utilize the tools we provide on Etsy to keep you in touch with your customers. You can customize your message to buyers to thank them for their orders. You can also use Etsy's targeted offer tools to automatically email a discount to buyers. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's good that Etsy's saying that. People have to opt in. It was just this week. I'm going to get the company wrong, but it's one of the food recipe boxes, like Green Chef or something, is getting fined. I believe it's just this week for improper use of email marketing. So this is being cracked down on. So be extra careful. Don't sign people up to your mailing list. Check the laws. Make sure it's easy for them to sign out. Opt out of your mailing list. Yeah, and don't mess with a mouse. This is a video I'm in the process of making. I've been researching it for about 3 months now. And Starla just made a similar video, so go over and check her out. But don't mess with the mouse. We know Steamboat Willie, that version of Mickey Mouse, and Plain Crazy, the other cartoon that came out at the similar time, the same year, are now in the public domain. I will keep reiterating until I can get my video out. Don't mess with the mouse. Although the copyright has expired, I have been pretty sure for months now that that Disney will be using trademark laws to protect its mouse. Now, Mashable reported on Thursday that a YouTuber had uploaded a video to his channel that was immediately hit with a copyright claim from Disney. It featured the Steamboat Willie video in its entirety. He had remixed the film with his own comedic audio track playing over the cartoon. So Disney automatically copyright claimed this. So it's not just Etsy that gets taken down. This gets taken down everywhere. YouTube is big for getting hit with copyright. And this means that the person who created this video, and they remixed it with his own audio on it and stuff, so probably did a good bit of work on this, but he was now not able to make any money on it or embed the video, and the video was given limited visibility. So yeah, that's quite a hurtful thing to happen to you. It's not the same as getting sued, but it still hurts you because you've spent time and money creating a video. Now, since then, the video has been reinstated. Disney released the trademark, said, okay, yeah, we're not going to take that any further. But firstly, the damage has been done. Very much on YouTube, if your video doesn't get traction at the beginning, it's kind of unlikely. You know, it's YouTube's given up on it already, so he's getting hurt for that. But I think Disney, they released it and then they claimed again something slightly different. So at the minute in time, it looks like Disney is venomously protecting their trademark, and then coming back and thinking about, is this fair use or something? So the thing is, they could start taking down things on Etsy, and if they do that, your only recourse is to say, no, I think this is fair use. Take me to court, Disney. You're going to do that? I'm not going to do that. So hold off. I am pretty sure there is going to be a few lawsuits. Actually, Legal Eagle, a legal um, YouTuber, made a whole thing on Disney. I'd have to check that out as well. He's saying pretty similar to what I'm saying, which is at the minute in time, we don't know. We're going to have to wait until the first few lawsuits go through the courts to see what's happening. So hold off making your Disney things until the first few lawsuits have gone through the courts, because I don't want to be the one to test it. But anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I hope that rambly rant made sense and was helpful, and I'll see you next time.